Think of it this way. Every day is like a new painting, and you get to choose the brush strokes. The decisions you make are symbolized by that brush. So what are you going to paint today? A new opportunity to become better presents itself every day. It's a chance to improve yourself, your abilities, and your outlook on life. You have to put in the work for this change to occur. It won't just happen. A key takeaway for me is that great things may come from little consistent efforts put in every day. Conversely, each day brings new mistakes and judgment, which ultimately lead to failure. The key between failure and success resides in the modest, everyday changes you choose to make. It's not about great changes. It's about the tiny things, those apparently inconsequential improvements that make the largest effect over time. I've broken it down to 10 important areas that you need to improve every day. We'll cover these 10 topics quickly, but we'll maintain our emphasis on the greater aim. Your attitude should be the first thing you work on every day. You can't build your life upon anything less than a positive attitude, and its power is immense. If you focus on developing it, even just a little every day, you'll discover that it affects everything in your life. You could think, Tony, it's just attitude, just how I feel. But it's more than that. Your attitude impacts how you perceive the world, how you approach issues, manage obstacles, and connect with people. It works both ways. Your attitude is like a magnet. It either brings chances to you or drives them away. Think about this. Have you ever encountered someone who's constantly negative? Someone who finds something to moan about no matter how beautiful things are? Now, how much success do you think they attract with that type of attitude? Not much, right? That's because negativity becomes a barrier to chances. On the other hand, someone with a positive mindset draws chances like a magnet. People want to be around them, work with them, support them, and watch them succeed. So if you make it a point to change your mood, even just a little every day, becoming a little more cheerful, more patient, you'll discover that doors you never knew existed will begin to open. Here's something crucial to remember. Your attitude doesn't alter overnight. It's a gradual, steady process. You enhance it little by bit, day by day. Maybe today you concentrate on being a bit more appreciative. Tomorrow, you focus on becoming more resilient each day. The following day, you opt to concentrate on finding solutions rather than ruminating on difficulties. Every day, you put down another tiny brick in the foundation of a better mindset, and soon, you'll have constructed something solid and durable. I guarantee you, when your attitude changes, everything else improves with it. Your relationships, your career, your health, everything of it. Next, you need to focus on your communication abilities every day. This is one of the most crucial aspects in how successful you become. Why? Because everything in life involves communication. Whether you're chatting to a buddy, negotiating a business transaction, or connecting with your family, communication is at the foundation of it all. The better you communicate, the better your connections will be, the more smoothly your company will function, and the higher impact you'll have in your community. Now, let's clear, some communication isn't only about talking. In fact, some of the finest communicators don't say very much at all. You see, excellent communication is a two-way street. It's about expressing your views clearly and comprehending the opinions of others. Just like with attitude, you may enhance communication every day. Maybe today you concentrate on being a better listener. Tomorrow, you focus on getting your idea over without being too forceful. The following day, you work on finding the perfect words to communicate your sentiments. Every day, you enhance your communication style. Bit by bit, you become someone who people want to listen to. And here's the underlying power in all of this. When you communicate more effectively, you have more influence. You become a better leader, motivating people to take action. Think for a moment. Have you ever had a misunderstanding with someone due to poor communication? Maybe you assumed they meant one thing, but they had an entirely other purpose. That simple mistake escalated to a major problem. Now, imagine if you could enhance your communication just a bit each day. How many misunderstandings might you avoid? How many disputes could you resolve? How much more trust could you develop in your relationships? It's absolutely worth pondering about. Next, you need to concentrate on strengthening your self-discipline every day. This is really crucial. Self-discipline is the bridge between your objectives and your achievements. It's the capacity to continue when you don't feel like it, to do what's essential even when it's difficult. The reality is, without self-discipline, success becomes practically impossible. You may have the finest objectives, the most brilliant ideas, and all the skill in the world, but without the discipline to follow through, none of it counts. Self-discipline is like a muscle. The more you work on it, the stronger it grows, and you can develop it little by little each day. Maybe today, you force yourself to wake up only 15 minutes earlier. Tomorrow, you force yourself to work out even when you're not in the mood. The day following, you force yourself to remain focused on your task without interruptions. These modest acts of discipline can seem minor, but when you sum them up over time, they offer huge effects. Here's something crucial to think about. Self-discipline isn't only about willpower. It's about builds. When something becomes a habit, it doesn't take as much discipline. It becomes automatic. So part of increasing your self-discipline is creating habits that support your objectives. For instance, if you make it a habit to read 10 pages of a book each day, you no longer need to depend on willpower to develop and learn. The habit takes control, and your discipline becomes easy. I once met a bright young guy full of promise, but he lacked discipline. He'd start tasks with passion, but never complete them. He'd become sidetracked by the next dazzling idea, leaving the previous one behind. As a consequence, he made no genuine progress. One day, I sat down with him and said, "You need to work on your discipline. Stick with anything until it's completed, even when it's difficult, boring, or you don't feel like it." He took that advice seriously, one tiny thing at a time. Over time, he gained the discipline to follow through on greater initiatives. Today, he's tremendously successful, and he'll tell you that self-discipline was the key to his success. Another crucial component of altering your attitude is to confront your limiting beliefs. Many of us are held back, not by external circumstances, but by the assumptions we have about ourselves. By our own views about ourselves and the world, we frequently assume we can't accomplish something because we've never done it before, or because someone told us we weren't good enough. But such beliefs are merely ideas, and thoughts can be altered. So each day, concentrate on replacing limiting beliefs with empowered ones. Instead of thinking, "I can't do this," think, "I'm learning how to do this." Instead of thinking, "I'll never be successful," consider, "I'm on the path to success." Each day, change your thinking just a bit, and over time, you'll realize that your whole outlook on life alters. I once met a guy who battled with his thinking. He continuously concentrated on life's problems, believing every challenge as insurmountable and every setback as final. He felt trapped, and no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't go ahead. One day, I met with him and said, "You need to adjust your thinking. Stop concentrating on what's wrong and start focusing on what's possible." He took that advice to heart. He began small, reading a few pages of an uplifting book each morning, practicing thankfulness each evening, and steadily moving his attention from problems to solutions. Over time, his thinking transformed, and so did his life. He got more confident, resilient, and successful. It all started with the everyday practice of strengthening his thinking. Now, let's speak about time management. We must pay great attention to how we spend time. It's the one resource we all have in equal proportion, but how we utilize it makes all the difference. Time is precious because once it's gone, it can never be restored. To accomplish big things in life, you have to learn how to manage your time efficiently. The good news is, time management is a skill you can better every day. Maybe today, you concentrate on defining clear priorities. Tomorrow, you focus on removing distractions. The day following, you practice saying no to items that don't correspond with your objectives. Each modest gain in time management adds up. Before you know it, you'll be achieving more in less time, concentrating on the things that actually count. Think about this. How frequently do you find yourself busy but not productive? How frequently do you waste time on things that don't actually move the needle while the vital tasks get put aside? Being busy is not the same as being productive, which is why better time management is so vital. It's about concentrating on the right things at the right time, in the right manner. One of the greatest methods to improve time management is to start each day with a plan. Take a few minutes each morning to sketch out your priorities for the day. What are the most critical things you need to accomplish? What can you delegate or eliminate? And here's a critical piece of advice, student. Only schedule your work. Plan your breaks too. Rest is equally as crucial as activity. If you don't take time to refuel, you'll risk burning out. Make sure you're organizing your time in a manner that balances both productivity and relaxation. I've dealt with numerous folks that struggle with time management. They frequently tell me, Tony, I just don't have enough time to get everything done. My reaction is usually the same. You have precisely the same amount of time as everyone else. It's not about having more time. It's about utilizing the time you have more efficiently. If you want to enhance your life, start by changing how you manage your time. Time management is a daily discipline, and each day you improve just a bit, you'll discover that your life fits into place more seamlessly. Next, every day, you must focus on growing and expanding your knowledge. The world is continuously changing, and if you're not learning, you're slipping behind. The more you know, the more you can do, the more you can accomplish, the more value you can provide to the marketplace, and the more value you contribute, the more benefits you gain. To keep ahead in life, you've got to expand your knowledge every single day. How do you do that? Simple: read, listen, study every day, and commit to learning something new. Maybe today you read an article about your industry. Tomorrow, you listen to a presentation on personal growth. The following day, you attend a course to strengthen your talents. Each modest investment in learning adds up, and before you know it, you'll be more informed, more competent, and more equipped for whatever life throws at you. Learning doesn't end when you leave school. In fact, that's when genuine learning occurs. Formal education will help you earn a livelihood, but self-education will help you build a fortune. The most successful individuals in the world are lifelong learners. Learners, they never stop enhancing their knowledge. They recognize that the more they study, the more they can accomplish. The process of progress is everlasting, and this applies to every facet of life. One area that demands ongoing development is your money. There's never a good day to disregard them. Your financial condition isn't something that simply occurs to you, it's something you create. Just like every other aspect of life, it takes constant attention and progress. Whether you're attempting to get out of debt, develop money, or generate greater financial stability, it all begins with making little, consistent gains every day. The reality is, most individuals don't actually understand money. They know how to acquire it, but they don't know how to handle it. As a consequence, no matter how much they make, they find themselves perpetually suffering. But here's the good news: you can improve your financial status, little by little, each day. Maybe today, you start by recording your spending so you know where your money is going. Tomorrow, you design a basic budget to guarantee you're living within your means. The following day, you begin putting away a modest amount of your salary for savings or investments. Each of these modest steps adds up. Soon, you'll discover that your finances are under control and rising. It's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep. Some individuals make a lot of money, but they spend it just as quickly, living paycheck to paycheck and perpetually on the verge of financial difficulty. Others who earn less save, invest, and develop money because they grasp the concepts of financial management. And the greatest part, these ideas may be learned by anybody. You don't have to be a financial guru to improve your money. You only need to make tiny, wise choices every day. One of the finest pieces of financial advice I ever heard was this: spend less than you earn and invest the rest. It seems easy, but it's powerful. If you follow that idea every day, your financial future will be safe. But here's the key: it demands discipline. It demands the capacity to defer gratification. You must say no to needless costs now, so you may say yes to financial independence tomorrow. Improving your financial status is something you can work on every day. It's about making smart financial choices, managing your money effectively, and investing in your future. Have you ever glanced at your bank statement and thought, where did all my money go? That's a signet's time to modify your financial practices. It's time to take control of your money instead of letting it control you. And remember, you don't need massive changes, just incremental, regular gains. Now, let's speak about personal growth. Here's the key. Life is about progress. If you're not growing, you're standing static. And if you're standing still, you're falling behind. Every day, you've got to work on being a better version of yourself. It's not about perfection, it's about growth. It's about always developing who you are, how you think, and what you do. Personal growth is a lifetime adventure, and it's one you can't afford to neglect. Maybe today, you focus on developing your self-awareness, understanding your strengths, limitations, habits, and inclinations. Tomorrow, you concentrate on establishing a new skill, something that will benefit in your work or personal life. The following day, you focus on strengthening your emotional intelligence learning, how to control your emotions and connect better to others. Each single progress you make adds to your total development. Over time, you'll discover that you are becoming the person you always thought you could be. One of the finest things you can do for your personal growth is to create clear, defined goals that push you to improve. But here's the key. Those objectives must fit with your beliefs, interests, and purpose. It's not just about attaining more, it's about being more. It's about being the type of person who can attain those ambitions. And that's something you can work on every single day. Maybe today you set a goal to read one chapter of a personal development book. Tomorrow you make a goal to practice a new habit for only 10 minutes. The following day, you set a goal to reflect on your progress and modify your path as appropriate. Each of these simple activities pulls you further on your road of personal improvement. Now, here's something crucial to remember. Personal growth isn't only about learning new things. It's also about unlearning things that no longer serve you. Sometimes, in order to progress, you need to let go of old habits, beliefs, and ways of thinking that hold you back. That's why personal development is a constant effort. You're continuously learning, developing, and changing. The more you commit to this process, the more you'll notice your life improve in every aspect. One of the most significant truths I've learned about personal growth is this: you attract what you become. If you want to attract success, you must become successful in your habits, your thoughts, and your actions. If you want to attract wonderful connections, you must become the sort of person deserving of great partnerships. If you wish to attract plenty, you must establish an abundant attitude. And that's something you can work on every day. You may become more disciplined, more focused, more happy, and more successful by improving yourself just a bit each day. Next, one of the most essential things to work on every day is being appreciative. Gratitude is one of the most powerful feelings you can nurture, and it has the capacity to impact your life in ways you can't even conceive. When you concentrate on what you're thankful for, you move your attention away from what's lacking in your life and toward what's already excellent. And when you do that, you attract more good into your life. Gratitude is something you can practice every day, and it doesn't take much. Maybe today, you take a time to thank the folks who support you. Tomorrow, you concentrate on the minor benefits you typically take for granted: your health, your house, your employment. The following day, you demonstrate thanks for the obstacles that have helped you develop. When you're thankful, your thinking switches from scarcity to abundance, and over time, your whole view on life changes. Have you ever had a horrible day when everything seemed to go wrong? We've all been there. But here's the secret. Even on such days, there's something to be thankful for. Maybe it's the lesson learnt from a mistake. Maybe it's the strength earned by conquering a struggle. When you concentrate on being thankful, even the terrible moments become valuable. And that's the actual power of it. When you make appreciation a regular habit, it begins to affect not only your attitude, but also your conduct. Gratitude softens you, making you more kind, more patient, and more sympathetic. When you concentrate on what you have, when you appreciate the tiny and great gifts in your life, you remove that sensation of scarcity, that worry of not having enough. And that's powerful because when you stop living in fear, you start living in plenty. Living in plenty is one of the biggest transformations you can make in your life. Gratitude is like a muscle. You've got to work on it every day for it to get strong. Each day, take a minute to focus on what you're thankful for, and it doesn't have to be enormous. Maybe today you're glad for the sunlight. Tomorrow, you're glad for the food on your table. The following day, you're thankful for the lessons learned via difficulty. Whatever it is, find something, even if it's tiny. The trick isn't the amount of what you're thankful for, it's the act of being grateful itself. Being appreciative doesn't mean disregarding issues. It doesn't mean pretending everything is fine when it's not. Life has its obstacles, but when you practice appreciation, you acquire the strength to confront those challenges without being overwhelmed by them. for the strength to get through it. Gratitude redirects your emphasis from what's wrong to what's right. And that gives you the energy, the bravery, and the perspective to keep going ahead. I recall a lady going through a horrible period. She had lost her work, her relationship had ended, and she felt adrift. Every day felt like a fight. One day I sat down with her and said, "You've got to find something to be grateful for, even in the midst of the storm." At first, she felt it was impossible, but she began tiny. Each day, she wrote down one item she was thankful for, no matter how minor. Slowly, her viewpoint started to alter. She sees possibilities where earlier there were roadblocks. She rebuilt her life and is now happier and more successful than she ever was before, all beginning with appreciation. Gratitude is infectious. When you practice it, those around you notice. It spreads your optimistic mindset and motivates others to recognize the good in their own life. Your generosity motivates others to be generous. Your enthusiasm for life pulls people out of negativity. So when you practice thankfulness every day, you're not just improving your life, you're improving the lives of others around you, and that's powerful. Now think about your life right now. Think about the topics we've discussed: your attitude, communication, discipline, relationships, mentality, time management, money, personal growth, purpose, and thankfulness. How many of these areas might benefit from just a little improvement every day? And what would your life look like if you committed to making those modest, everyday improvements? The secret to permanent transformation isn't found in one giant leap, it's in the modest, consistent activities you do every day. That's where the true magic occurs. That's where change happens. I've seen it time and time again. Individuals who commit to improving just a bit each day, who concentrate on the process rather than the result, end up doing incredible things. Why? Because success is the inevitable outcome of little practices performed over time. So tell me, what modest improvement can you make today? What's one area of your life where you can start using these concepts right now? Maybe it's your finances, perhaps. You take a look at your expenditures and make a little change. Maybe it's your relationships. Reach out to someone and tell them you appreciate them. Whatever it is, start now. Don't wait for the ideal moment. Don't wait for everything to be perfectly aligned. Start with what you have, where you are, and commit to improving a bit every day. What's one simple thing you can do today to start creating that discipline? What area of your life can you begin making tiny everyday changes in? It doesn't have to be large. It doesn't have to be flawless. It simply needs to be consistent, because over time, those simple acts compound, and before you realize it, you'll be standing in a position you never believed imaginable. And remember the power of purpose. It's what gives significance to all these everyday advancements. It's the why underlying everything you do. When you have a clear sense of purpose, everything else falls into place. Your discipline gets stronger, your appreciation deeper, and your motivation unstoppable. Purpose isn't something given to you. It's something you find and build over time. And just like everything else we've talked, it's something you can improve a little bit each day. Maybe today you take some time to focus on what actually matters to you. Tomorrow, you take a step toward connecting your behaviors with your ideals. The following day, you seek for opportunities to assist others and make a difference. Each of these simple actions puts you closer to living a life of meaning. And when you live with purpose, everything in your life becomes more meaningful, more gratifying, and more rewarding. Remember this: life is a journey, not a destination. And that trip is made up of the modest everyday steps you take every day. You have the potential to develop every day. You have the potential to become a little bit better than you were yesterday. When you commit to better yourself every day in every aspect of your life, you'll realize that the journey itself is the reward. So, what are you going to improve today? What tiny, regular action are you going to do to come closer to the life you want to live? It's not about making a tremendous jump. It's about taking one tiny step at a time every single day. When you accomplish that, you'll be astounded at what you can achieve over time. That's the actual key to success. It's not about chance, skill, or even hard effort. It's about the minor disciplines, the everyday improvements, the modest decisions you make each day. And those decisions, my friends, are in your hand. I hope this resonates with you. As you begin focusing on little everyday improvements, you'll start to notice incredible changes in your life. Keep going, keep improving. And remember, success is not something you chase, it's something you attract by the person you become.